From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Friday, February the 28th, 2025. Tzachi Idan, one of the 4 hostages whose remains were returned to Israel from Gaza this past Wednesday night, was laid to rest today. Hundreds filled Bloomfield Stadium for the funeral service. The stadium is home to the Hapoel Tel Aviv soccer team, of which Tzachi Idan was an enormous fan. Tzachi, who was 49 years old at the time of his abduction by Palestinian terrorists during the October 7th Hamas massacre and murdered in captivity in Gaza, was then buried in his home kibbutz of Kibbutz Einat, alongside his oldest daughter, 18-year-old Ma'ayan, who was murdered on October the 7th. The 59 hostages who remain held by terror group Hamas in Gaza have now been captive for 511 days. The U.S. Department of Justice said today that the Federal Task Force to Combat Antisemitism will be visiting the campuses of 10 universities that have experienced anti-Semitic incidents since the October 7th Hamas massacre, regarding allegations that the schools may have failed to protect Jewish students and faculty members from unlawful discrimination in potential violation of federal law. They will be visiting the campuses of Columbia University, George Washington, Harvard, Johns Hopkins, NYU, Northwestern, UCLA, UC Berkeley, the University of Minnesota, and USC. Leading task force member and senior counsel to the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, Leo Terrell, said the President, Attorney General Pamela Bondi, and the entire administration are committed to ensuring that no one should feel unsafe or unwelcome on campus because of their religion. Police in Sydney, Australia, arrested and charged a local nurse after she made threats against Israeli patients. As we reported to you earlier this month, she and another nurse were suspended from their jobs at Bankstown Hospital for threatening to kill Israeli patients and saying they would refuse to treat them. New South Wales police said the 26-year-old nurse has now been charged with 3 Commonwealth offenses, including threatening violence to a group, using carriage service or telecommunications to threaten to kill, and use carriage service to menace, harass, offend. She was released on bail and is set to appear in a Sydney court on March the 19th. Yesterday, Australia's 39 universities endorsed a new definition of anti-Semitism, one that is said to be closely aligned with the IRA definition, that of the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance. That definition is set to be enforced on college campuses. Australian Broadcasting Corporation said Australia's special envoy to combat anti-Semitism, Gillian Siegel, told them that the definition was an important step to understanding anti-Semitism and places universities in a better position to respond to the concerns of Jewish students. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Friday, February the 28th. Live Shabbat services are coming up at 6 o'clock from New York City's Central Synagogue, followed by Shabbat services from the Hampton Synagogue. At 8:30, Justin Pines sits down with comedian Modi to talk about the role of humor as we begin the new Hebrew month of Adar. At 9:30, Rabbis Elliot, Cosgrove, and David Wolpe discuss the Jewish landscape after October the 7th. At 10:30, a replay from the Hampton Synagogue, followed by a replay from Central, and coming up next, a look at this week's Torah Portion. And that's the JBS News Update for Friday, February the 28th, 2025. I'm Teisha Bader. Shabbat Shalom. Am Yisrael Chai.